What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. Today, I have a confession to make. I am an addict. I am an obsessor. I'm a hoarder. I'm a collector. I'm ashamed. Sort of. Sort of. But I do have an obsession. It is absurd. And it is something that I've worked very hard over the year 2022 to not let myself get too heavily involved and to significantly pare back my obsession. My obsession is ink samples. I can't help it. I'm going to flip the camera around in a minute and show you them all potentially, as well as even, I have some swabs of a lot of them. But it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, you guys. Oh my God. I have 55 ink samples currently. And that is significantly pared down. It's almost in half. I don't remember this specific number. I was either just under or just over 100 of them. So I've basically cut it roughly in half of what I used to have, going through the year and using them all. Because it's been absurd, you guys. And I have handcuffed myself this year and telling myself, do not buy them. But the problem is, and you'll see this in an upcoming video next week at some point, when I show you what my ink bottle collection is of 2022, that's got out of hand. Real bad. So my ink samples, I have controlled myself, believe it or not. But my ink bottles that I'm looking at, I done goofed, guys. I done messed up real bad. It doesn't even fit in a single drawer anymore. And it's a pretty big, deep drawer. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be a long one. Yeah. When I post my 2022 pen collection video and 2022 ink collection video, make sure you got a tea and a snack with you because I'm going to bet it's going to be close to half an hour. It's going to be ridiculous. But I don't want this video to be almost a half an hour. So I'm going to flip the camera around, continue to talk to you about why I have so many, why I love them, and then show you some of the colors and whatnot. So I had to let you all know that I have a problem. The first step in solving it is to admit that I have a problem. Yeah, my ink is just getting absolutely out of hand. When I have ones that are actually inked up, I keep it in this little Galen leather pen holder that I've got, which currently just holds my Retro 51s, a Sharpie, and then some of my inks. So the ones I've got currently in use is Troublemaker Inks Petrichor. It's almost empty. I have Van Diemen's, the Wilderness series, Hanging Lake. That one's in there. And then Pilot Iroshizuku Sui Gyoku. So I keep them in here so that I can re-ink up a pen if I need to do that. And then I've got some swabbage going on here. Yeah, I literally counted them all. Just because I wanted to. So I'll show you this in a moment. Oh gosh, this is just getting absolutely out of hand. I'm not going to go through every single one. Clearly I just keep them in baggies. But I get them from a couple different places. So anything that looks like this, these samples were actually sent to me from a viewer. So that was really nice. I've gone through many of them, but I still obviously have many left. I get some from Van Ness Pens. Their samples, along with Pen Chalet, Pen Chalet. Their samples are more expensive, but they give you 4 milliliters instead of 2. So when I know that like chances are I'm really, really, really going to like that ink, but I don't necessarily want to buy a whole bottle, then I will buy from these guys, especially if I'm already placing an order with them, because you do get 4 milliliters instead of 2. I do buy a fair amount from Goulet Pens. This is Baltimore Canyon Blue. They give you 2 milliliters, so it's a little less expensive than these guys. But 2 milliliters, to be fair, is mostly perfect for me with an ink sample, especially something like this that I know I'm not going to use very often. And it's probably not a color I would ever want to use maybe more than once or twice, especially with the fact that it's still staining up here. Makes me a little nervous to put it in a pen. And then I also buy from Wonder Pens in Toronto. They have much smaller ink vials. It does hold 2 milliliters, much smaller obviously than these guys. They do that because it's like less packaging, less like plastic, but I hate these with a fiery burning passion because they're so small that you can't use them. So I always just pour out the contents of these into an empty ink vial that I have and fill from there. Because while I understand the environmental impact of these, they're useless. But I do buy, especially like things like this, where like I know I'm never going to want an actual bottle of this ink because I'm never going to really enjoy that color very much. I like to try it out and whatnot. I mean, this one obviously is from 2020 and I still haven't used it. I do get some shimmering inks sometimes, even though I don't love them, but for Christmas cards especially, the samples are perfect for it because then I don't have to buy a whole bottle of shimmering inks and can just use a sample. And I do like that Pen Chalet puts like roughly the color of it on top. It's never perfect, but it gives you a good idea. And then I count these as ink samples, even though technically they're not. It was actually a full bottle of ink that I had, but I didn't have very much left. And so I just suctioned all of the ink out of the bottle, filled the vial. This one actually is full almost all the way. So that I can still hang on to the remaining ink, but not have to have a whole bottle of something that is no longer in need. So that's why some of them look like this with like janky tape on it, is because it's like I was almost done the bottle and just decided to get rid of it. So I'm going to show you what is in the next one. The next one is kind of cool. Because I did buy a few samples. It's gonna go everywhere. This is like hoarding my drugs here. I did buy a few samples, and I don't think I have very many left. Yeah, there we go. There's one. From Desk Bandit. They're based out of Australia. And I bought them because at the time, there were virtually nobody in North America that kept Troublemaker inks in stock. And to be fair, even those that do keep Troublemaker inks in stock in North America, they sell out so fast. Like I said, I'm almost out of the Petrichor one. These bottles are a little bit bigger than the rest, but they still only hold 2 milliliters. I liked Desk Bandit. I've only ordered from them once, just because, like I said, it does come from Australia. So to go from there to Canada is a bit much, and the shipping is bananas. But it was worth it at the time. So, yeah, and I also got a couple of their Vinta inks, if my camera can focus. What I liked about some of Van Ness's shipments is they don't do it all the time, but you can see there's kind of like almost like plumber's tape under here for inks that are like prone, I think, to leaking or would be really, really, really unfortunate if it inked or if it leaked. they do put like what I assume is like plumber's tape underneath the threads, especially if they ship it in the winter to somewhere cold like me. I found that really, really handy. KWZ Sheen Machine I liked. This is Sheen Machine 2. For whatever reason, it's a big butt to clean out by comparison. And then here's like another shimmery ink that I got because like I said, I don't love them, but I like to have some samples for Christmas cards and things like that. Yeah. Basically. The downside to having so many, this has been renamed. It's no longer Apache Sunset. It is now Southwest Sunset, I believe. But again, I went through almost an entire bottle, so just had this left. But what I really like about ink samples is it gives you a chance to try out a bunch of inks, obviously, or inks like this where like I know I'm not going to love it, but I think it'd be cool to play around with an ink that I don't typically use. So I really like ink samples. If you are one to suffer from FOMO a lot, then ink samples are really handy to not invest in, because you're not really like investing in anything, but if you get the ink sample, you can try it out. It kind of scratches the itch, you know what I mean? Without having to like buy a whole bottle and then look at it, you know, year after year and being like, I'm a scum, I've never used it, this is like terrible. Why did I waste my money? You know what I mean? And so one day I decided to go through all of the ink that I had. Now, not every color it's like there is going to be here, but it just sort of shows you. This was a while back, so it's not totally up to date. But these are just some random swabs that I took. And you can see most of them are are used up. I don't have them as samples anymore. Some of them I actually bought bottles of. So for example, where is it? Diamine Polar Glow I had as a sample. I actually bought 2 by mistake. And I loved it a lot, and I used it a lot, especially during the holidays. So I bought a bottle. And it's currently inked up as we speak. So I do that from time to time as well. But it just kind of, it scratches the itch. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing, because I don't have FOMO as much anymore, but I certainly used to. But I love ink samples, and I change my inks so often, like so often. Oh, I have a blank one there. That to me, like going through a whole bottle is so difficult. Like it's just bananas. So I much prefer samples, but I do definitely have a problem. I mean, look at this. Look at this. But I am happy to report that, like I said, I've gone through the majority of them, despite what this looks like. But I will continue to go through these and try and not buy anything. Well, okay, I can't say that. Try and buy like maybe less than a dozen in 2023. But let me know in the comment section down below, do you have any, fountain pen obsessions, problems, addictions that you just have to, either get over or get off your chest, or just admit it and embrace it? Or am I alone in this? Because I have a feeling I'm not alone in this. So while you're in the comment section letting me know that, do hit the like button. New videos, if you want to hit subscribe, come out every Monday and Friday, and the occasional Q&A or whatever random video on Tuesday, except for the month of December, where it happens every weekday. And if you check out the description for my Patreon and Instagram account, if you want to help support me and what I do here. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. Just kidding. That's the beginning. It is time for our Patreon crew shout out. This was filmed as of December 1st, so if you don't see your name, don't fret. I will update it as soon as I possibly can. My 2 ultimate humans, Daniel Rodney and Comp Dave, and all my VIPs, Susan, McCall Bennett Lawrence, Karen Epstein, Gretchen Peters, Carol Lowry, Michael Simon, Subi1 Kenobi, Catherine Molina, Waylay Chang, Brian Law, Bill Pemberton, Lucas Bell, Robert Myers, Marissa Calvo, Eric Lineman, Stephen Baldwin, DigitalTent.tech, Bobby A. Bailey, Bass, Joan Worthman, Luna Wolf Games, Aaron C., and Glenn Kelly. You guys make it super, super, super possible for me to keep making these videos. No matter what tier you're in, I thank you for supporting me on Patreon, especially those of you who've been with me since the beginning. You mean more to me than you could possibly ever know. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.